It is a beautiful Sunday for field hockey and the home opener at Pruitt Field in Athens, Ohio. We're ready to watch the Ohio Bobcats take on the St. Louis Billikens. A pleasant good afternoon to you. Alongside Daniel Barnard, I am Carson Francis. We will hear from Sophie Haug, the third member of our crew, throughout the game later today. Daniel, we've got the MAC, we've got the Atlantic 10, two teams coming in today that could really use a win. What's there to look for today?
Yeah, Carson, first of all, so excited to be here, home opener for the Bobcats. Back at Pruitt Stadium, it's field hockey season, baby. Can't wait to get this one underway. But as far as keys to the game are concerned, if you look at this Ohio team, I've got two keys for the Bobcats. And first and foremost is to keep in getting Sasha DeCotla some opportunities in space. MAC offense got two winning goals, but last she scored 2 goals and had an assist. It's going to be to get her in space, keep opportunities. Key for the Bobcats that I have on the defensive side of the ball, Josefina Perez. She is an absolute playmaker for this Billikens team. She's got all 4 goals that the Billikens have scored this season. Find a way to limit her. But on the other side, if you are the keys to your game is going to be obviously find opportunities for Perez. Also, maybe try to find some opportunities for some of your other players. Bobcats defense, Smith, Sarah Larson, so they're not hyper-focused on Perez and taking away their only form of offense.
Face-off underway, and we are ready to go from Pruitt Field as the Billikens will take over possession to start this game. St. Louis moving it up the field. It's Ashley Jones trying to work the ball around up midfield. Taking over through pressure is Perez. Tried to go between 2 Bobcats. Louis will reset. St. Louis 0-3 on the season, coming off an overtime loss to Ball State at home. Their last 2 games resulted in overtime losses. Still looking for their first win of this 2024 season. In the backfield now, St. Louis trying to work it up and down the sidelines. Trying to get it through 2 defenders. It's taken away. Sasha DeCotla has it for the Bobcats now. And up the field, Desmarais trying to get an opportunity at the net wide. Bobcats will reset. It's Natalie LaFleur trying to find one in there. And we'll have a stoppage in play. It looks like it's going to be an Ohio penalty corner.
It's Abby Shallow in the goal for the Billikens today, defending shots from the Bobcats all day. This is one thing that Johnstone Bobcats talked about, at least for their first weekend of play on the defensive side of the ball for the Bobcats. They were really disappointed in their defensive corners, but the offensive corners have been good. We'll see if they can continue that right here.
This is the 23rd penalty corner for Ohio this season. Looking for a little success here. Great opportunity to take the lead early. Sending it in. Here's a shot fired. It's no good. Mila Kopp on the shot attempt.
There you go, Mila Kopp getting involved early. Obviously not able to connect on the shot, but one thing about her is we talked about Sasha DeCotla a few moments ago, Offensive Player of the Week last week. Mila Kopp, Defensive Player of the Week in the MAC last week. So the Bobcats swept the awards in the Mid-American Conference, and en route to that award, she held opponents to a .079 shot percentage. Well deserved.
Emily Risser will reset for the Bobcats. Entrance pass, Kopp, the shot attempt again, deflected by Shallow. Good work in the net by Abby Shallow. The freshman out of Newport Beach, California, making her 3rd start of the season. Risser will send it in once again. 3rd time's the charm, you would hope, for the Bobcats. This time, shot deflected by the Billikens. Julia Royackers with the defensive save. Good heads-up defense by the Billikens. The Bobcats will reset in their attacking third, however. And not for long, as possession will go back to the Billikens after that one goes out of bounds.
Despite Mila being MAC Defensive Player of the Week last week, Carson, she has taken, now with those 2 shots, she's taken the most shots on the team. So she is very effective on defense, but she's also very involved in the offense as well. This Ohio team, very well-rounded. They can do it all over the field.
Yeah, this Ohio team coming off their biggest loss of the season, a 6-0 defeat to number 10 Michigan up in Ann Arbor this past Friday. Allie Johnstone, the head coach of the Bobcats, however, said that this team loves to compete against the big dogs, and they're not backing down to any competition, and it really prepares them for games like this and really going forward into MAC play as well.
Yeah, she made a big emphasis on MAC play when we talked to her, and not only did they lose to Michigan, but they played Michigan State the game for that, and Vermont before that. Both overtime games, they went to double overtime versus Michigan State, triple overtime versus Vermont. These Bobcats really, really well tested of who they've played on their schedule, and like you said, going forward, that's only going to pay dividends when they get into MAC play. You're going to be really well prepared.
Bobcats on the attack now. Natalie LaFleur lost it, and she gets it back, making a play at the goal. It is good. Natalie LaFleur puts the Bobcats on the board early.
Great execution, transition offense from the Bobcats right there, turning it over, getting the ball back deep in St. Louis territory where they're trying to make a shot on the goal. They get it back, get all the way up the field real quickly. Natalie LaFleur, great transition offense, able to put it in the net from the corner.
Third goal of the season for Natalie LaFleur. And with 11:45 to go in this first period, the Bobcats have an early 1-0 lead. St. Louis looking to rebound, but they give possession right back to Ohio. If you're Bobcats, maybe you smell blood in the water, you have the ball in scoring position, you want to Emily Risser now has it and send it back to St. Louis.
Well, Carson, it's been tough sledding for this St. Louis team historically. Season, and the last time they played Ohio was September 11th, 2021. They lost to the Bobcats 7-3 in that one, but it hasn't just been the Bobcats that they've struggled. It's been an overall struggle for them. Going back to 2018, Carson, they played 100 matches, and they have only won 18 of them. So down early on the board, obviously still very well in this game, still a lot of game left. But they're going to have to limit this Bobcats offense that has clearly shown their hand early and they're able to score.
In St. Louis now looking defensively, and they're going to have a penalty. The huddle, it will be Josefina Perez to make the pass in for the Billikens. Perez, 4 goals this season, only player on the Billikens to score this season, 8 points, 6 shots on goal. Been one of the best players year in and year out, too, for this Billikens program as the entry in from Perez. Billikens looking for a shot. They try to get it to Perez. Perez trying to work around. Shot was deflected and out of bounds, so a successful defensive stand for the Bobcats on that penalty corner. St. Louis will take it back now, trying to even things up. Ball's deflected, and taking over is Manriquez. Nice save by Lotz. And St. Louis unable to get anything. A little chaos there for the Billikens. Just a nice heads-up defense. And we're waiting on an official ruling here from the officials.
Ohio's putting their gear back on as if it's going to be another defensive corner for them, which, like I talked about just a couple of minutes ago, is one area where they made a big focus going into their second week of practice after the first weekend against Stanford and Albany. But we will see just what the ruling is, but they are preparing as if it's going to be another defensive corner.
Trying to see if the ball did in fact clear the goal line, and this could be big for St. Louis too if this is ruled a goal.
Obviously tie the game back up here early in the first 5 minutes of the game. We'd already have 2 goals on the board, so we'll see what the ruling is. It looked awfully close from my vantage point. Obviously we don't have replay here today, but Macy Lotz was playing some really, really good defense. It looked like St. Louis had an easy tap-in goal just right in front of them, right for the taking, but Macy Lotz able to keep it in front of her. At least the ruling on the field was that she was able to keep it in front of her. We'll see what the umpires are able to come up with under the tent. Be so much more helpful if we had replay. Be able to just look down and see what exactly was going on down there from our vantage point. It's just a tough angle for us up here.
It's a good day for Bobcats sports. We have our ESPN Plus crew covering the women's soccer team as they take on Oakland later today, so you can catch the Bobcats in action on the soccer pitch at 1 o'clock on ESPN Plus as well. The official ruling, they're going to say it is, I believe they're going to call it a goal for St. Louis. St. Louis was celebrating.
A lot of clapping going on the sidelines at least. I don't know.
It appeared after the initial ruling that St. Louis was celebrating. And now we're going to get a penalty shot here. It will be Josefina Perez looking to even things up for the Billikens. Shot from Perez is good, and just like that, we're all tied. It's 1-1. Billikens tie it up. And who else but Josefina Perez?
You said it, Carson. Who else but Josefina? That's her 5th goal of the season. Brings her up to 10 points on the season now. And that was my key on the defensive side for the Bobcats, was limiting her. Obviously very tough to limit someone, anybody when they're taking a penalty corner, but she gets them on the board. We're all tied up.
So a defensive collapse there from the Bobcats leads to a St. Louis penalty shot, allowing the Billikens to tie this one up early on.
I'm wondering exactly what it was that created the penalty shot for them. I'm wondering if somebody might have accidentally hit the ball with their hand inside the circle. Again, it's hard for us to exactly tell when there's a big scrum of players in the circle, but potentially one of
St. Louis looking to attack once again offensively, but Ohio able to take it back. Good bounce-back defense there from the Bobcats. Still early. Can't really hang your head on one goal. You just got to have that next play mentality, as we know Allie Johnstone likes to preach to her team. Pass down the field just a little too far and out of bounds. St. Louis, dating back to last season, riding a 5-game losing streak. Last season, they finished just 3-13, tied for dead last in the Atlantic 10. Included an 8-game losing streak going from September 10th to October 13th of last season. It's a good clear here by St. Louis. Will force the Bobcats to go the length of the field now. It's Anouk Plain sends it upfield. Mary DeGrand tried to get it up the sideline, knocked out of bounds. The Bobcats will reset. It's Deborah James. Try to find Sasha DeKotla. Pass not the cleanest. The Bobcats still have it, and they're working up the field once again. Here's a shot fired. Mary Huffman not on track there. Good effort there from Abby Shallow, the keeper for the Billikens. I think the shot was a little wide anyway, but still a great effort from the keeper.
Yeah, the shot was definitely a little bit wide, but like you said, a great effort. Shallow laying out for it to her right. I don't think she was able to get a stick on it, but the effort is what you want to see if you're Coach Adkins on the sideline for St. Louis, and Shallow making the most of her opportunity.
Ohio on the attack once again. Emily Risser sends it in. They're working towards. They're back now. Here come the Bobcats once again, and it looks like we're going to have another Ohio penalty corner.
And as Ohio's preparing for that corner, another good time to hit on Shallow. Obviously a freshman this year from Newport Beach, California. She's made 2 starts versus Bellarmine and Ball State. And coming into the game, at least she was 8 for 11 in save opportunities. So she has, like I said, made the most of her opportunities to this point. She's going to have another test right here with yet another corner for the Bobcats. They've been down there quite often so far in this first quarter, and at least on the scoreboard, tied up at 1. See if they can't take the edge here once again, 8 minutes in.
Abby Shallow, 8 saves in the game against Ball State. Ohio looking to break this tie. Shot is good. The Bobcats take the lead. It's Anouk Plain. Fires one in there for a goal. And just like that, the Bobcats are back out in front.
That was picture perfect right there from the Bobcats. The pass in on the corner, the setup for it, and then the shot from Plan, just a missile into the back of the net for Anouk. It's her second goal of the season. That brings her up to 4 total points.
6:45 to go in this first period. Good defensive stop from the Bobcats now. And the Bobcats finally with a successful penalty corner. And they look to capitalize on that once again as they have possession. Zoe Collins tried to bring it upfield, but the Billikens take it back. Moving upfield, it's Ella Etherington. Billikens working the ball around in the back. It's Ashley Jones now up the sideline, trying to get past a defender, stolen away. Mary Huffman. And the Bobcats will reset offensively. Sloppy pass, and Perez takes it back for the Billikens, and Josefina Perez moving upfield, tried to make a play there at the goal. Billikens have it down low, looking for something. Taken away. Manriquez fires, deflected. Bobcats trying to take it back. Manriquez gets it back for St. Louis. Ball just going back and forth between the two teams, and Ohio takes it back. Here's Natalie LaFleur. Little back and forth action there from both teams. Good defensive stand from Ohio. So we'll see a substitution here. Leave Noah Desmarais back in. No, that is number 7, Merle Cal.
That previous goal for Anouk Plan, Carson, just officially announced, assisted by Bodie Littlefield. 6:56 mark in the first quarter. This is actually the first game this season that the Bobcats have scored in the first quarter, and they've got 2 goals in the first 8 minutes and some change. So getting started early, not something that the Bobcats have done, but they're doing it well here today.
Yeah, definitely a good turnaround from being shut out in their last game, only getting 2 shots on target, to 2 goals in the first period today.
And by the way, it was Bodie's first assist of the season, and it was also her first points of the season. No goals for her yet either. So she's getting her name into the stat column a little bit this afternoon.
St. Louis moving it up the field once again. Manriquez in a fight for it. They've got it in the box, but it's taken away by Ohio. Sophie Vanderwall has it up the sideline, poked away. Deborah James to send it in for the Bobcats. 5'7" freshman from England. Bobcats playing really fast with possession here, trying to get upfield. This team wanted to get off to a fast start, and they're playing like it too. You've seen already 2 goals, and really they're just moving around really fast, getting up and down the field quickly.
It has. Their energy, their hustle has really been prevalent early on in this game. And like I said earlier, it's proven dividends so far. Obviously, up by 1, they did give up the penalty shot goal to Josefina Perez, but I think overall it's been pretty much dominated by Ohio in this first quarter. The score tells one story, but your eyes can tell another at the same time.
Absolutely. Emily Beitzel with it for Ohio. Looking to get another chance at a shot here, coming up on 2.5 minutes left in this first quarter. Shot attempt there from the Bobcats just wide.
But then again, you can look at it, and if you're St. Louis, like obviously we're up here saying the score tells one story, the eyes tell another, but you can think to yourself, look, we haven't been playing up to what we know our potential is. Obviously, we're down on the scoreboard by 1, and you might feel good that you're down on the scoreboard by 1 because you feel like you've been getting outplayed a decent amount. Still in this game, like I said earlier, a lot of game left to go. I mean, there's 2 minutes left in the first quarter, so still 47 minutes left in this game, Carson.
Sloppy pass there from St. Louis, taken away by Ohio. The Bobcats have possession. Good defense there by Perez, and now Perez on the attack for the Billikens once again through traffic and poked away. Billikens looking for a game-tying goal here. Ashley Jones on the sideline, trying to get around a defender, tripped up from behind. St. Louis will reset. There's Olivia Smith, tried to find Manriquez inside, poked away by the Bobcats. Bodie Littlefield with the takeaway. St. Louis gets it back. They're putting pressure on the Bobcats up the field. They want an opportunity to tie this game early.
Good back and forth here between both these teams the last 30 seconds to a minute. St. Louis trying to get back in it, like you said.
Here's Abby Vitas for the Billikens. Up the field, here's Perez inside, taken away. And St. Louis is going to have another chance. It's a Billikens penalty corner. The lone goal for St. Louis came off a penalty corner, a goal by Josefina Perez. And we'll have the same setup here for the Billikens as they try to even this one out.
The Bobcats played good defense on their first penalty corner. They were able to prevent St. Louis from scoring the goal on the actual corner itself, but in the circle, something transpired. I'm erring on the side of a handball that allowed for the penalty shot.
Perez sends it in. They want to look for her again. Good defense by Ohio, and St. Louis unable to get a shot off. And now the Bobcats bring it up the floor. Here's Desmarais trying to go upfield for Sasha DeCatla. DeCatla has it, trying to work around traffic. Here's Natalie LaFleur. LaFleur trying to get it upfield, taken away by St. Louis. And the Billikens will clear it out. Bobcats will take over near midfield, under 10 seconds to go in this first period. Final seconds winding down, and that will bring us to the end of the first period. An intense game on both sides of the ball here, but Ohio finds themselves with a 2-1 lead over the St. Louis Billikens. Don't go anywhere. We've got a good one on tap here in Athens. Back here at Pruitt Field in Athens, Ohio, the Bobcats leading St. Louis 2-1 after a period of play. Welcome back in, Carson Francis. Joining me now is our sideline reporter, Sophie Haug. Sophie, you were down on the field in the first period. What'd you see?
Hey, thanks, Carson. Let's talk about Natalie LaFleur's goal a little over 3 minutes into the first quarter. One thing I want to highlight is the energy she brought pregame. She was dancing with her teammates and coaches and giving high fives during warm-ups. She came into this game eager and immediately made an impact with that goal just 3 minutes in. On top of this, she was the first person to hype up her teammates, who assisted the play and continued to hustle throughout that first quarter.
And we saw that positive energy, too, from Natalie LaFleur translate, and she got the first goal of the game for Ohio as well. Thank you, Sophie. And Bobcats are setting up now to start the second quarter of play as they lead 2-1 once again to the St. Louis Billikens. Daniel, we saw a lot of intensity on both sides of the ball here on offense and defense from both teams, and they look to continue that in this second period.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. You heard it from Sophie. Obviously, the Bobcats and specifically Natalie LaFleur bringing that energy, and obviously it feels good to talk about that with Natalie obviously working with us quite a bit in the broadcasting world during the off season for field hockey. But yeah, I mean, she brings that energy off and on the field, and it seems like it's very imminent that is the case here today. Natalie actually had her first career goal against Vermont last week. That came last Saturday. Now today's the 15th, right? So September 7th would be last Saturday. So she had her first career goal against Vermont. Second career goal here today. She's been playing good here in her sophomore season.
St. Louis trying to find something, but it's taken away by Ohio. Annie Ryan takes it away. Ohio trying to work it up the field, but Bodie Littlefield can't hold on to the ball. Ball will roll out of bounds possession. Going back to Ohio, like we said, a lot of back and forth action from both teams, but St. Louis has been playing with a little more intensity than you'd expect on the defensive end.
Yeah, they really have. I was impressed with that in the first quarter. Obviously, they surrender the 2 goals, which you don't want to have happen. But you know, they've been very scrappy down close to the circle. They've been very scrappy on the offensive side too, trying to create space and create those shot opportunities. I think that only is going to open up space as the game continues. They just gotta find their shots. They gotta find their space, and good things will come from it.
Kick save there from Macy Lotz to take away a shot opportunity from St. Louis. Ohio gets it back, a little tumble down there. Emily Risser hit the floor, and Ohio will set up. Tried to throw it downfield, and St. Louis takes it back. Here's Perez. Perez trying to go through traffic, and the Billikens will reset. Trying to get through Bobcat defense is Olivia Smith, and the Billikens have it down low. Perez, open shot is wide. Josefina Perez had a wide open look at the net and couldn't capitalize. Big break for the Bobcats.
They got right down pretty much parallel to the goal, had a little angle that she could have squeezed it in. Took a really nice shot with Macy Lotz just on the ground. She laid out to try to stop the ball, couldn't come up with it. And the Billikens had a great opportunity to tie the game, just not able to capitalize on that opportunity that they created for themselves.
And that's something that St. Louis has been able to cause throughout the first quarter, and we see here early in the second, is they've just been creating chaos down there for this Ohio defense. As Ohio takes it away now, Bodie Littlefield up the field, stripped away. Ashley Jones on the takeaway. Tried to find Ava Kalma upfield, but a little too much on that one, sends it out of bounds. Bobcats take over. Ohio trying to work it upfield. Here's Merle Cow. Over to Littlefield. Tried to find Emily Beitzel, but a sloppy pass there sends it out of bounds, and possession goes back to St. Louis.
Yeah, the Bobcats had a great opportunity on that previous possession just a moment ago when they were on the plus side of the field. Bodie Littlefield with the ball. I think she was looking up the field a little too much, maybe trying to find Noah Desmarais. In space, she was in front of the pack, but she, at least Bodie, that is, kind of got it tangled up with some St. Louis defenders trying to make a pass that just wasn't there.
St. Louis takes it away from Ohio up the sideline. Perez going downfield for Kalma, but again, just a little too much on that one, a little wide for her as well. Billikens head coach Zoe Adkins is in her 5th season at the helm at St. Louis. Hired in the summer of 2020 after 5 seasons at Division II Franklin Pierce University. Perez looking up the field, tried to find someone in the box. It was Shea Dry, but Dry could not come up with it, and it goes out of bounds. Bobcats take over. Bobcats looking to maybe create a little more separation than they'd like, leading 2-1 early.
Sounds like Deborah James back into the game for Mila Kopp. Substitution for Ohio.
Noah Desmarais tried to bring it up the field, tried to get an opportunity to score for Ohio. Ohio trying to work it inside. Here's Merle Cow up the field. LaFleur into the box, tried to fire at the net. It's high and wide. Good heads-up defense by the Billikens. Good attack, though, from Natalie LaFleur and the Bobcats. Out of bounds, Bobcats will reset. Pass inside, intended for Noah DeMarais. It's knocked away. And it looks like we're going to have yet another Ohio penalty corner.
They've been creating these opportunities for themselves. We saw it several times in the first quarter. They were able to capitalize once with the Nuke Plain getting on the scoreboard. We'll see if they go with the same type of approach here this time around. Maybe Plain getting another shot opportunity.
Anouk Plain got her second goal of the season on the last penalty corner. They'll look to capitalize once again. Emily Risser, junior out of Palmyra, Pennsylvania, will make the entrance pass. They'll set it up for Plain. Plain, the shot deflected. Good takeaway by St. Louis. And now St. Louis has numbers going up the field. Great opportunity for the Billikens. Here's Dry. Dry tried to find inside Sierra Larson, but good defense from Deborah James to take it away. Great job by the Bobcats defense. Had a 2-on-1. You're outmatched, and you force the ball out of bounds, and you force St. Louis to reset.
Yeah, that's absolutely tremendous defense from the freshman, Deborah James, right there. Not getting the start here today, but substituting in a couple of times already, and she's making her presence felt on the field.
Noah DeMarais gave it right back to the Billikens. St. Louis gives Ohio another possession. Once again, a little back and forth action. St. Louis moving quickly. Here's Larson, had it, and loses it out of bounds. Coming into this game, the Bobcats have been outscored by their opponents 17-6. But they've been on the attack early on. They see themselves ahead by 1. That's not out of the realm of the unexpected when you have the strength of schedule that Ohio's had early on this season as well.
I mean, absolutely. That's one of the things that I wanted to make sure that we talked about at some point during this game. I mean, you open up, they've got an exhibition game with Ohio State earlier on in August, but then once the regular season kicked off, Stanford playing 20th ranked Albany, Vermont, and then you get both Michigans, Michigan State and Michigan. You go to overtime in 2 of the games, and both of those games that you went to overtime, there had to be more than one overtime to decide a winner. It's been tough sledding, to say the least, for the Bobcats, but they're right there.
Littlefield up the field for the Bobcats. Lost her footing there and loses possession. Billikens take it back.
Yeah, to be honest with you, Carson, I think she just I think the ball got a little too far out in front of her. She was trying to reach for it, which caused her body to lean forward, maybe lost the balance a little bit. An opportunity for the Bobcats right there goes by the wayside. Just a little dribbling miscue there from Littlefield.
Yeah, sometimes you see an opportunity, you see a lot of green grass, and
get too excited.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to slow down, take it easy.
It's like basketball when you have a fast break and you're all alone and you're just thinking to yourself, don't mess this up. Don't mess this up. This is a gimme.
And then next thing you know, you dribble the ball off your foot and it goes out of bounds.
Exactly. Done that one too many times.
St. Louis resets in their backfield.
And I'm not saying by any means that was a layup for Bodie Littlefield either. It would have been a very tough play had she have gotten the shot off. She still had defenders in front of her. She just had that space around her that might have created that kind of headspace.
Would have been a great opportunity for the Bobcats, but they will reset as they look to bring this one up the field. Under 5 minutes to go until halftime. Beautiful day to cap off a great weekend here in Athens. You had the football team yesterday taking down Morgan State over at Peden Stadium. And then, as we mentioned today, we've got soccer and field hockey both in action on this Sunday afternoon as well.
Athens is bumping this weekend. It's been a beautiful weekend for it, too. Mother Nature's cooperating with us. It's hot and sunny outside.
It's back and forth, back-to-back possessions from each team result in long passes that go out of bounds. St. Louis will reset and bring it up the field.
Mila Kopp is back into the game. I want to mention that she was subbed off for Deborah James a few minutes ago. Deborah is still in the game. Mila entered in for a different teammate.
Shia Dry into the box for the Billikens. Dry through a herd of Bobcat defenders, tried to put one at the net and kicked out by Macy Lotz. Only 2 shots on goal for the Billikens, 3 shots total. This game they've had a lot of chances down low, but nothing really to show for it outside of the 1 goal. They look to add to it though, but it gets taken away by the Bobcats. Mary DeGrand. And now up the field comes Sasha DeKatla through traffic, loses it out of bounds. And they'll say possession goes back to the Billikens. Taking it back for Ohio's Merle Callan. St. Louis, we've just got a hot potato going on the field. Back to St. Louis now. Here's Ella Etherington up the sideline through traffic and knocked out of bounds by Ohio. And we have a penalty called against Ohio, and the Billikens will set up for a penalty corner.
Yeah, that was a crazy back and forth right there between both teams. I tried to count it in my head, but I lost count of how many times the ball was turned back over to the other side. Seems like every pass off of one player's stick ended up with the other team. And obviously, St. Louis comes out on the right side of it. They're going to be lining up with a chance to tie the game.
2:47 to go here in this second period. St. Louis trailing Ohio 2-1, and they've got a golden opportunity to break even here. Josefina Perez will set up the penalty corner. And I imagine, too, they've done this multiple times. Perez will make the entry, and they'll try to set her up for a shot. And that looks like they're going to try and do that here. Perez has it inside, fires at the net, poked away. Billikens take it back. Roy Ackers, kick save by the Bobcats. And the Billikens will reset once again for another penalty corner, but good heads-up defense by Ohio.
That approach from the Billikens has its pros and cons. Obviously, trying to work the ball around the circle, find the most open shot that you can, but then at the same time, you give more time for the defenders in the back to get back in there and try to create havoc in there. See if they try to just go with the straight shot here on this one.
Perez will enter once again. They'll fire this time, kick save by Lotz. Nice play by Macy Lotz, but St. Louis takes it back. Stoppage in play here. Possession goes back to Ohio. Ohio moving it up quickly. It's Anouk Plain. Over to Natalie LaFleur on the left side. LaFleur tried to work it in, kicked away. And Ohio will reset. Under 2 minutes to go. Anouk Plain back towards midfield. Plain gets it back. Plain looking inside, deflected, and out of bounds.
You know, I know we're on the other side of the field now, but going back to this penalty corner previously from St. Louis, Macy Lotz has done a great job of communication all season long. Coach Johnstone talked about that when we talked with her a few days ago. Her communication from the net has prevented a lot of goals.
Bobcats have an opportunity inside. Littlefield working against a defender, and she loses that battle. Possession back to the Billikens. St. Louis clearance, and just a little too far out of the reach of Bryn Newborn. Another missed opportunity from the St. Louis squad. And so far, they've paid the price for it. Just over 30 seconds till halftime. Neither team really in any hurry to set anything up. Ohio will enter it in. Here's Noah Desmarais now. Desmarais trying to race for that ball. But the Billikens will win that battle, and they'll try to play keep away from Ohio with it as the first half clock winds down. And that will bring us to halftime here on the banks of the Hocking River. An intense first quarter offensively. We got a lot of defensive intensity in the second quarter. And our halftime score stays the same. It is 2-1, Ohio out in front of St. Louis. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a little bit to talk about what we saw in the first half and where both teams can go in the second here at Pruitt Field, Ohio, with a 2-1 lead over St. Louis. Back here at Pruitt Field in Athens, Ohio, halftime between the Ohio Bobcats and the St. Louis Billikens, with Ohio leading 2-1. Daniel, on paper, it's looked like a pretty even matchup so far. What have we seen throughout the first half?
Yeah, you know, we hit on it a few times. I've been really impressed with St. Louis's defense. Obviously, they gave up those first couple of goals about 8 minutes and 10 or so seconds into the ball game. They gave one up on the corner to Anouk Plain, excuse me, and then Natalie Lafleur early on in the ball game, about 3 minutes in, driving up the right side of the field, able to get one in on an angle shot. It was obviously good possessions by Ohio, able to get the ball into the back of the net, but St. Louis has really impressed me on the defensive side of the ball. Really scrappy, really aggressive, getting in there, trying to get those takeaways. On the offensive side of the ball for them, I think that they've created those opportunities that they've been looking for. Going into the second half, they just have to capitalize. We talk about that so much in sports, and especially here today, I've talked about it a few times. Capitalizing on your opportunities is what's going to win you a ball game. I mean, it's as simple as that. They've had the opportunities. They just got to get the ball to fall their way.
Yeah, and very quickly, what does Ohio need to do? They're leading by 1. What do the Bobcats need to do to pull away and create more separation in this one?
I think their hustle has been really good so far today. I mean, we saw that play with Bodie Littlefield towards the end of the second half. She just couldn't catch up to the ball. They have it out in front of them. She just couldn't get to it right there. But the hustle is where everything has been really good for the Bobcats. I think that they've out-hustled the Billikens a little bit, not by much, but their hustle has been great. That's been what has creating the opportunities for them. So if they're able to keep that foot on the accelerator in terms of it, literally on the accelerator on the field and get out in front of this Billikens defense, try to wear them down a little bit and create more space for them. And on the defensive side of the ball, I think they've been really good. They've only given up one goal, and that was on a penalty shot. So keep doing what you're doing on defense. On offense, keep your foot on the accelerator, literally, speed-wise on the field. I think they're going to create a lot of opportunities that way.
We'll step aside once again, but stick around. We've got the second half of Ohio and St. Louis coming your way. Back here at Pruitt Field, second half between the Bobcats and the Billikens about to get underway. But before we do, we'll send it back over to our sideline reporter, Sophie Haug. What have you got for us, Sophie?
Hey, thanks, Carson. It's been a great first half of field hockey this afternoon. And with Ohio leading St. Louis 2-1, I think one of the key factors in the Bobcats' success so far today has been their patience on both the offense and defensive ends. They started taking the time to set up plays. They were communicating with each other, working together with each other in each play, and it's paying off significantly. You know, every once in a while you'll hear someone on the Ohio sideline say, "Calm down," or just yell slow, making sure everyone stays collected and is ready to go.
Thank you, Sophie. Great insights as always. St. Louis takes possession to start the second half as we're back to action here on the banks of the Hocking River. Bobcats with goals from Anouk Plain and Natalie LaFleur to put them in front 2-1 on St. Louis. Bobcats trying to apply some pressure defensively as St. Louis looks to work it up the field. Bobcats take it back. Emily Beitzel up to Natalie LaFleur. LaFleur trying to go through a herd of defenders and gets stopped. St. Louis takes over. This is the last game for Ohio before Maction starts here in Athens as App State comes to town this Friday at 12 o'clock p.m. to take on the Bobcats. It's one of the unique things about field hockey is teams in the MAC that aren't in the MAC in other sports like App State and James Madison, Longwood, teams that we don't see Ohio play against in other sports. As the Bobcats have an opportunity, it's deflected and they get it back. Shot is out of bounds going to St. Louis, but great opportunity there for the Bobcats. That was Noah Desmarais on the shot, and good save by Abby Shallow.
Yeah, you talk about the conference alignments for the Bobcats, at least in the MAC. Bellarmine also in the Mid-American Conference in terms of field hockey. And it's interesting, Carson, as St. Louis is moving a little bit here. When you look at St. Louis's schedule, they have opened up their season. This is their fourth game. They're 0-3. All four opponents for them, obviously with Ohio being in the MAC, all four opponents, MAC opponents. They played Central Michigan, they played Bellarmine, and they played Ball State. All losses, Central Michigan 4-1, Bellarmine 2-1 in overtime, Ball State 3-2 in overtime. But they've had a heavy dose of action to start their season.
Ohio working it up the field quickly. Noah Desmarais had it, and the ball went off the face of a St. Louis defender. But Ohio wasting no time getting some looks offensively in the second half. Here's Merle Cal. Down the baseline, Merle Cal. Pass into the Bobcats, and it's another Ohio goal. A cluster of Bobcats surrounding that one. And Ohio gets a huge goal early on in this second half to take a 3-1 lead.
Beautiful execution. We talked about hustle during the halftime break. Lots of hustle being displayed right there. Able to get from one side of the field to the other, where the Bobcats once again in transition. That was beautifully done. Able to get their third goal of the game and get a little extra cushion on that lead.
A lot of people surrounding that one, not able to tell who exactly fired the shot that went in, but still 3-1 Ohio advantage. They credit the goal to Bodie Littlefield on the goal, her first of the season. Merle Cal on the assist. Nonetheless, big one for the Bobcats as they go up by 2 scores now. Bodie Littlefield, the senior out of Oakland, Maine, with the insurance goal. The Littlefield name runs deep here in the Ohio field hockey program. You remember her sister Wesley Littlefield played a long time at Ohio before transferring to American University this season. But the Littlefield sisters have made a mark on this Ohio field hockey program over the years.
Yeah, for Bodie today, she's really making her mark on this game. One of the best games, if not the best, in her career. It might not be up there for that mark as of yet, but she's got an assist and a goal here today in this one. 3 total points for her first goal and first assist of the season. She's been making her mark so far against St. Louis.
St. Louis trying to answer back now. Josefina Perez tried to find someone inside, taken away by Ohio. And a deflection there from Anna Smith goes out of bounds, going to the Bobcats. Bobcats have matched their scoring total on the season. They look to add to it. Pass is just a little too far ahead of Addie Basile. The Bobcats scored 3 goals in a 3-2 win over Michigan State. And that's the highest they've scored all season. They're looking to break that scoring record already here in their home opener. Mary DeGrand tried to find Sasha DeCotla down the sideline, and it was deflected out of bounds, but Ohio takes over. Here's DeCotla. DeCotla had it, lost a battle with Anna Smith. Ohio will set up again. Mary DeGrand inside. DeCotla has it. DeCotla fires toward the net. It goes in for another Ohio goal. Off the deflection of Abby Shallow, Sasha DeCotla with her second goal of the afternoon. And the lead now is even more commanding for the Bobcats. It's 4-1 for Ohio.
Showing us exactly why she was the offensive player of the week last week is Sasha DeCotla. Like I talked about early on here today, she had 2 goals and an assist last week. Already another one here today.
And I mentioned this earlier in the game too. Ohio coming into this game with only 6 goals throughout their first 5 games, and they've already got 4 today.
This is where that hustle is really coming into play. You see it right there for DeCotla.
DeCotla has it again, looking to add to it. A little collision there, miscommunication by Ohio. St. Louis takes it back. And now if you're St. Louis, you really got to buckle down and focus offensively. Down by 3 goals, and Ohio has all the momentum right now in this game.
You talked about the hustle for Ohio and having to wear down this Billikens defense, who played so well in the first half. So far here early on, they have done just that, extended their lead to 3 goals.
St. Louis trying to work it around, and Ohio takes possession back. It's one of the things that we heard from Stoffi too. Ohio was playing with a lot of patience in the first half, not trying to force anything, and that resulted to here in the second half now, they get their opportunities, and that patience, that hard work pays off.
You see it a lot across all sports, really. To start games, a lot of times teams won't come out as aggressive as you know they can be. It's kind of like a feeling out process. Try to get a feel for what exactly it is that you're up against. You go into halftime, you make those adjustments, you know what you got to do, and you come out ready to go in the second half, and that is if you're in a position to do so. If you're up on the scoreboard like Ohio was 2-1, but if you get down on the scoreboard, then you got to start to get a little aggressive, go off script a little earlier. For Ohio, it's worked out exactly how they've wanted it to today, up 2-1 going into the half, and they've been able to come out swinging here in this third quarter.
Most goals scored in a game by Ohio this season. St. Louis looking to rebound. They have it in the attacking zone. Good defense there from Ohio to take it away. And the Bobcats take possession back. Emily Risser on the stop. Risser played 37 minutes in the last game against Michigan. It's been a really, really big defensive key for this Ohio team, and really it runs in the family for Emily Risser. Her mom played field hockey for Ohio back in the 90s. So green and white field hockey runs deep here in the Risser family.
And her mom played here field hockey. Her dad played college football for Gettysburg College. That is an athletic family.
About 6.5 minutes to go here in period number 3. Ohio bringing it up the field. They're looking to attack once again. Natalie LaFleur. Pass into Noah Desmarais, taken away by the Billikens. Good action there from the Bobcats, though, trying to set up Noah Desmarais for a shot opportunity. Billikens working around. Desmarais takes it away from Anna Smith. Noah Desmarais through a double team, poked away by St. Louis.
Ignacia Manriquez subbed into the game for the Billikens.
Mary DeGrand will reset for Ohio. Tries to cross it. Here's Bodie Littlefield. Poked away by a double team. Josefina Perez with the takeaway for St. Louis. Downfield pass. Here's India Hayes. Good job by Ohio forcing her outside. Middle opens up. And St. Louis is going to have a shot opportunity. Shot, no, taken away by Ohio. Great defense with their backs against the wall, preventing a shot. Anna Smith has it for St. Louis. And pass right to a green jersey. And once again, we're having some back and forth action here with some passes.
Yeah, Ohio back on their heels here on defense. The past couple of times, it just looks like they've been trying to clear it. Change the field. It's not necessarily a we're trying to keep possession right here. We're just trying to get it out of where it's at right now and close to the circle for the Billikens.
St. Louis will reset in their attack. Olivia Smith taken away by the Bobcats. Addie Basile with the takeaway, got tripped up there, but gives the ball back to the green and white. Coming up on 4 minutes to go here in the third period. We'll have a sub coming in for Ohio. Sophie Vanderwall in for Addie Basile. Vanderwall, native of the Netherlands, and field hockey is a big deal in that country. Both the men's and women's national field hockey team took home gold in the Paris Olympics this past summer.
Certainly not bad to come from the Netherlands, and it really puts a good look on this Ohio program, being able to bring in those types of recruits and bolster their team in hopes of, having a really successful season, trying to run the MAC. Certainly Vanderwall, a huge help with that.
St. Louis trying to find something offensively, can't do anything there. Anna Smith on the pass to Ignacia Manriquez, who gave it up. Good crossover action by Mila Kopp. Had Manriquez on roller skates there for a little bit. Possession goes right back to St. Louis. Here's Shia Dry. Looking up, trying to find someone inside, off of a player's foot. And Ohio will clear it out. St. Louis to reset on the attack. 4-1 Bobcats lead. This is also the last game for St. Louis before conference play starts for the Billikens. They will head back home on Friday to face Richmond at home, their first Atlantic 10 competition. Deborah James with it now for the Bobcats. Bobcats taking their time, showing off that patience that we saw from them in the first half. And that can be a value too, is you want to play as cleanly as possible even when you have a lead like Ohio does right now. St. Louis takes it back, pass to nobody. It will roll out of bounds. Head coach Allie Johnstone was hired by the Bobcats back in 2017. And when Johnstone was brought in, the former Ohio athletic director called her a dream hire for this program, this athletic department. It's paid off for the Bobcats, the 2023 MAC Co-Coach of the Year. Here's Merle Cowell, loses it. St. Louis takes over. It's Olivia Smith. Moving up the field, trying to get around an Ohio defender. Up the field, just not able to reach it is Sierra Larson. Put a little too much mustard on that one. Larson not able to get there in time. .30 seconds to go here in this third period. Ohio leading St. Louis 4-1 here at Pruitt Field. Bobcats trying to bleed out some clock here. St. Louis, great pressure defensively. And Ohio in no rush to get something going here. They're content with letting the final seconds of the third quarter bleed out. And that is how the third quarter will come to an end. Bodie Littlefield and Sasha DeCatla grace the score sheet for Ohio. And the lead goes from 1-3. Bobcats with a 4-1 advantage as we head into the final 15 minutes from Pruitt Field. Stick around. It's the Bobcats and the Billikens. Three quarters down and one to go here at Pruitt Field. Bobcats leading the St. Louis Billikens 4-1. And we're back here with our sideline reporter, Sophie Haug. Sophie, Sasha DeCatla had a big insurance goal for the Bobcats in the third quarter. What can you tell us about Sasha DeCatla for this Ohio program?
Yeah, for sure. On a call earlier this week with Ohio's head coach, Allie Johnstone, she made the comment, if you want to see effort, watch Sasha DeCatla play. And after 3 quarters here, you can tell Sasha is an intense athlete. One thing that sticks out most about her is her speed. She could be on the opposite side of the field and find a way to get involved in most plays.
Thank you, Sophie. Once again, Sasha DeCatla, big insurance goal for the Bobcats to give them a 4-1 lead over St. Louis. That is DeCatla's third goal of this season. The reigning MAC Offensive Player of the Week strikes again here in Athens. And now for the fourth quarter, I'm going to be joined by Josh Horner, who's joining me up here in the press box. We welcome Josh into this broadcast. Glad to have you with us, Josh.
Yeah, Carson, thank you for having me. It's been a great Sunday here at field hockey. Ohio's offense has been on a roll, especially in the last period.
And they look to keep that going here as we have 15 minutes remaining between the Bobcats and Billikens. As Ohio will start with possession, giving it right back to St. Louis. Seen a lot of back and forth action throughout this game. As other than time of possession, things have been pretty even for both teams. Ohio 8 shots on goal to St. Louis's 6. Ohio also winning the saves battle 5-4, as Macy Lotz has had a pretty solid day in the net.
Yeah, Carson, you talk about Macy Lotz. Coach Johnstone highlighted how well she bounced back the past couple weeks. She said she's really made a difference and really become a leader for this Ohio team.
Yeah, recorded 99 saves last season, a career high 9 saves in the win over Michigan State. Ohio moving it downfield. Here's Natalie LaFleur, who gets it poked away. LaFleur trying to go back for it. And we'll have a stoppage in play here. Not sure what the official ruling is. But we will give possession back to Ohio. Emily Beitzel will set the table for the Bobcats. Here's Merle Cow. And we'll have another stoppage here. Ohio will reset once again. Beitzel started in every game for Ohio after only one start last season. Bobcats looking to maybe put the nails in the coffin here. Here's Noah Desmarais through traffic. Desmarais frees it up. But St. Louis will take back over. Now with MAC play starting on Friday, the Bobcats looking to improve on last season. They finished 6-10, finished 4th in the MAC. Were bounced in the first round of the MAC tournament by Miami. But with a lot of returners this year, the Bobcats are very hopeful for the upcoming conference slate.
Yeah, Carson, they've already been battle-tested in their non-conference slate, already playing 2 ranked teams in the country. You know, this is a team that I believe is 100% ready for MAC play coming up next week.
Yeah, and we talked about this earlier. Allie Johnstone said that her team is no stranger to competition. They're not afraid to play anybody. She said that last season they faced Northwestern, and Northwestern called them to ask if Ohio wanted to play. Coach Johnstone wanted to check it over with the players as Ohio is on the attack once again. And ball's deflected out of bounds. But Allie Johnston said that she checked with her players to see if they wanted to play Northwestern last season, and they were all about it. So she knew that when Michigan came calling this year, she didn't even have to ask the team. She knew that her team would be up for the challenge.
Yeah, Carson, you talked about Michigan, too. Another team in the MAC heading down to Ann Arbor to take on the Wolverines. CMU down there right now as that game started at about 1 o'clock around the MAC. Look at Miami and Rutgers. Another game today, JMU, William and Mary, Longwood and Richmond, and App State versus Davidson. So the MAC in full swing today.
Yeah, that App State Davidson, another MAC versus Atlantic 10 contest that we see here today as well. Also Longwood and Richmond. So we've got a little MAC versus A10 challenge going on here on this Sunday afternoon.
We know one MAC team already looks like they're ahead in this one.
Yeah, so far it looks like Ohio has had their names written all over this one, but still 11:41 to go. And this team wants to finish this one out as we'll have another penalty corner on the way for the Bobcats.
Another interesting note, Carson, Natalie LaFleur moves up to tied for second for goals in the MAC after getting her 3rd of the season so far today.
Yeah, absolutely. Natalie LaFleur and Sasha DeKotla both picking up goal number 3 on the season for Ohio. Been a very productive day for the Bobcats, really spreading the wealth.
Yeah, they kept that momentum going. You know, Danny hit it on in the first half, talking about how Ohio, it felt like they were getting their opportunities, just not cashing in on their chances. It felt like ever since the second half started, they've come in and they've really started to cash in. They've kept the momentum rolling, and that's what's led them to that 4-1 lead so far.
Ohio having a little discussion, maybe a personnel switch here as they talk over how they want to set up this penalty corner. It'll be the 6th of the afternoon for the Bobcats. Emily Risser will get things started for the Bobcats. Ohio's already broken their scoring total this season for a single game, and they look to add to it here on this penalty corner. Risser will set it up. Littlefield, dish, shot is saved by Shallow, but knocked into the goal by the Bobcats. Noah DeMarais, heads up play there by Ohio. And the Bobcats further increase this lead. It's 5-1 for the green and white.
Yeah, good awareness from Noah DeMarais. Right place, right time. Noticed she had an opportunity, took advantage of it, building onto that lead, making it 5-1.
You know, as I mentioned before in the previous quarter with Daniel, Ohio came into this game with only 6 total goals on the season. They're at 5 in this game. Very productive day from this Ohio Bobcats field hockey squad, and Noah DeMarais with potentially the cherry on top.
Yeah, I couldn't think of a better way to start home play here at Pruitt Field for the Bobcats. You know, it's going to be a great season for them, and they're just getting things started here at Pruitt.
Ohio with possession. They'll give it back to St. Louis. Noah DeMarais, first goal of the season, the senior out of Antwerp, Belgium, with the latest goal. Last year had 2 goals, including the game winner against Indiana here at Pruitt Field. It was academic All-MAC in both 2022 and 2023. Been a really key piece of this Ohio program these last few years. And we have a Billiken down. I think she took the ball right to the right up to the noggin there. She gets right back up. Always what you like to see. Field hockey is kind of a dangerous sport because you have the ball coming at you as fast as it can, and you know your whole body's kind of at risk.
And it's such a fast-paced sport too. You're always moving on the field. You know, there's not really a time you get to stop for a second. So, you know, making sure your footing's under you is key.
Under 10 minutes to go here in this one. Ohio has run away from the Billikens after that first quarter. They're looking to add to it. Here's Sasha DeKatla, poked away, and the battle for it goes to the Billikens. Anna Smith to lead things off. Gives it right back to Ohio. It's Deborah James taking it away. And they will reset things for St. Louis after the foul called.
Looks like we got a sub here, Carson. Looks like Zoe Collins heading into the game for Emily Bitzel.
Yeah, Zoe Collins making her appearance in this game. Only 53 minutes played all season coming into this one. Did not see any action last season, but recorded a shot on goal against Michigan State. So with a comfortable lead, Ohio trying to get some new faces out there, some fresh legs, getting players some reps here late in this one, as St. Louis will set up for a penalty corner now. Early on, St. Louis had a penalty corner that set up a free shot for Josefina Perez to put the only point on the board for the Billikens in this game.
Yeah, Carson, I bet you we're going to see the same strategy here. Perez with the pass in, and they're going to look right back to her for the shot.
That's what they've been doing on just about every penalty corner. Will the Billikens keep the same strategy here? They set one up. This time a shot is fired by Larson, and it's deflected away. Ohio takes over. Good defensive stand from the Bobcats. And the Bobcats are bringing it down the field now. Here's Addie Basile. Basile gets it poked away from behind by Olivia Smith. But great attack and great field position flip for the Bobcats as well.
Yeah, Carson, good defense from Ohio on the back end. That led to a good chance for the offense. And, just keeping your foot on the gas right here, keeping control of the ball and making sure you come out of Pruitt with a win is key right now.
Here's Noah Desmarais. Desmarais deflected out of bounds by Manriquez. Noah Desmarais with the latest goal for the Bobcats, putting a 5 spot on the board here at Pruitt Field. Ohio working it around, stripped away, and winning the battle for it is Zoe Collins. The possession goes back to St. Louis. Beautiful day here on the banks of the Hocking River. You see the leaves slowly starting to change colors. We'll see a true change in about maybe 3 weeks from 2-3 weeks from now. But the scenery here in Athens, beautiful as always.
Oh, absolutely, especially here on this side of campus with Pruitt and Chessa right across the street from each other. You get to look into the trees. I would especially say it's gorgeous during the springtime when all the
cherry blossoms.
Yeah, when the cherry blossoms are out. But it is a gorgeous campus, absolutely.
They say Athens is one of the most scenic places in all of college sports, and I definitely don't disagree with them.
Yeah, we get the luxury of seeing it every day, so we would know.
St. Louis takes it back. On the attack is Vitas. Vitas trying to direct through traffic and plays stop possession back to Ohio. And we'll have an officials meet here. I don't know exactly what they are discussing, but the officials are going to go have a chat and see what exactly they want to rule here. Ohio was projected to finish 5th in the MAC preseason coaches poll as we look at MAC play coming up. Miami was the preseason favorite, followed by Appalachian State, James Madison, and Kent State rounding out the top 4. So Ohio looking to maybe prove themselves worthy here as MAC play again starts Friday with a home matchup against App State. It's going to be a big matchup with the Bobcats and the Mountaineers.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one here on Friday. Of course, they're also home here on Saturday as well. Busy weekend for Ohio field hockey. They've done a lot of traveling. Just went to Ann Arbor on Friday, headed back here for a game on Sunday. They'll finally get a nice week of rest before MAC play starts.
Yeah, and also speaking of App State, too, maybe some revenge in the minds of the Bobcats. 2 seasons ago, the last game of the season here at Pruitt Field was against Ohio and Appalachian State, and the Bobcats needed a win to get into the MAC tournament, but were denied by the Mountaineers. So some seasoned vets here in this Ohio program still looking for some revenge from that game 2 years ago that denied Ohio a chance at postseason play. Meanwhile, St. Louis projected to finish dead last in the Atlantic 10 preseason poll, with St. Joseph's the preseason favorite, followed by UMass, a future MAC member, by the way, VCU in 3rd, Richmond, who the Billikens will face this coming Friday, projected to finish 4th.
Yeah, UMass heading to the MAC next season, I believe. So
yeah.
That I'm sure will be a great addition to the MAC, and especially for field hockey as well.
Ohio takes possession back, working up the sideline. Tori Miller with it, trying to go through double coverage. Splits the defense. Ohio bringing it up the field is Desmarais. Up the field. Looking up the field for, can't tell who that is up there for Ohio. But ball rolls out of bounds. I believe that is Mia Schulin. St. Louis has a clear path. Perez not able to get there in time, or does she? Josefina Perez with the hustle play, and St. Louis is going to have a chance before a stoppage in play now.
Yeah, great hustle by Josefina Perez. Her hustle right there really made it sure that St. Louis is going to get a corner kick or a penalty corner, I believe. So great hustle there. You know, even in a 5-1 game, she's still giving her all out there.
So once again, St. Louis will set up for a penalty corner. New approach here for the Billikens. They elect to have Ella Etherington set the table on this penalty corner. Maybe to clear up Perez for a better shot opportunity. Sixth corner of the game for the Billikens. Etherington will bring it in. And right away, whistle blows and looks like we're going to reset. And now Ashley Jones will make the entrance pass for St. Louis. Jones, entrance pass, shot fired, nice save by Macy Lotz, putting her body on the line. That ball came in like a rocket, but Macy Lotz stepped over and deflects it away and keeps the Billikens out of the net. And Ohio bringing it up now. Here's Mia Schulin, and it goes out of bounds. Either way, great defense here from Ohio we've seen all game long.
Yeah, that's been a theme this whole second half is defense for the Bobcats. And, you know, they've done a good job of turning that defense into offense on the other side as well, getting good attacks from good defensive plays.
St. Louis trying to salvage some points here, but Ohio keeping that defensive intensity. Pass intended for DeCotla will roll out of bounds. You know, this is a team that last year you lose players like Caitlin Whittle, Pauline Hartlieb, Joanna Hildebrandt no longer on the team. You lose a lot of key players, but this team still returns enough that they're hopeful for a successful season as Manriquez finds it down low. And we have a ball in the net, shot opportunity by St. Louis. Will this count? It will.
Looks like we might.
And I think the officials are going to have a talk about this one as Ignacia Manriquez made a heads-up play, putting the ball in the net, but will it count? You know, that's one of the things that caused St. Louis to get that opportunity in the first half for that penalty corner that led to a Perez goal, was that they just kind of caught the Bobcat defense off guard, got a little chaos created down in their attacking zone, and they were able to put the ball in the net.
Yeah, we've seen St. Louis have a couple good attacking possessions these past couple minutes, and it felt like they were getting the ball rolling. They were starting to get their chemistry and figure it out in the box, and looks like finally they're going to have a chance to put another one on the scoreboard here.
We don't know exactly what they're reviewing right now. As we mentioned back in the first half, we're not able to watch any replays here on this game, but we will wait and see what the official ruling is as they meet under the officials' tent over there. Across the street at Chesterfield, Ohio, taking on Oakland on Senior Day. Aaron Rodgers and the Bobcats soccer program, they've been on a roll early on this season.
Yeah, Carson, and you know they're starting MAC play on Thursday as well. Might be the biggest game of the year, I believe, against
Western Michigan,
Western Michigan,
the preseason favorite
yeah.
in the MAC.
Yeah, so that's going to be a great one. big weekend for Ohio athletics next weekend. Field hockey Friday, Saturday, soccer on Thursday,
Got volleyball all next
invite.
weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be a busy weekend for OU athletics.
And we will be bringing you coverage of just about all of those events here at Ohio Bobcat Studios, whether here on YouTube or through ESPN Plus. We will find a way to bring you coverage of all those Bobcat sporting events here in Athens next week.
Football, of course, is away at Kentucky as well.
It's a very, very exciting time to be a Bobcat. They're going to say no goal for St. Louis. Goal waved off for the Billikens, and the score remains 5-1 in favor of the Bobcats. So again, not sure exactly what the ruling is, but St. Louis cuts into the deficit only for it to get waved off there at the end, and the count remains 5-1. Ohio catching a little break here as a tumble there near midfield. There's a lot of chaos going on here, under 4 minutes to go. St. Louis tries to get on the attack. Just a sloppy pass there from Olivia Smith. India Hayes, the intended target. Out of bounds, possession back to Ohio. Unless something drastic happens here, St. Louis on their way to an 0-4 start heading into Atlantic 10 play this Friday. The Billikens take it back here. It's Etherington. Billikens looking around. Ashley Jones was the last one to have it. And St. Louis will set up for a penalty corner. Macy Lotz, the keeper for Ohio, 6 saves in only one half of action against the Wolverines on Friday, but today she has surpassed that total. She's got 7. Looking for another one here on this penalty corner. As the Billikens will go back to their old strategy of Perez to set things up. Here's the entrance pass. They tried to set it up. It was a little miscue there for the Billikens. They get it back, though. And poked away and out of bounds. Bobcats take advantage of a miscue there from St. Louis.
Yeah, Ohio's done a really good job of capitalizing on opportunities, especially their defense in the second half. They've really done a good job of turning their defense and mistakes from St. Louis into offensive opportunities.
St. Louis still playing aggressive. They've got it inside here late, trailing 5-1. Here's Etherington. Etherington with a shot. Kick saved by Macy Lotz. Macy Lotz continues to just be a brick wall down there at the net and denies the Billikens another chance at a scoring opportunity.
Yeah, Carson, what a second half she's had. It doesn't feel like anything's going to get by her anytime soon. She's been a brick wall in net.
But yet again, St. Louis continues to attack here. They'll set up for another penalty corner with 2:09 remaining.
St. Louis has had a really good offensive attack here in the second half. I know they don't have anything on the scoreboard to show for it, but they've done a really good job of keeping momentum rolling, and they've had some good offensive attacks here, especially in the last period of play.
This will be corner number 9 for the Billikens as Etherington is back there to get things going. Perez on the outside to the left. They pass it to Perez. Perez shot, fired, and it's just wide. As we come up on 2 minutes to go, another missed opportunity again for the Billikens. 9 shots on goal, 11 total, but only one finds the back of the net. St. Louis trying to keep possession on their side of the field. Ohio trying to finish out. Etherington trying to work through traffic, and a good clear there by Ohio. St. Louis will reset. Here's Perez with it. Perez lost it, taken away. Bodie Littlefield has it for the Bobcats, taken right back by Vitas. Little back and forth action once again.
I think we're playing hot potato again, Carson.
Yeah. As 1 minute remains here at Pruitt Field, Ohio set up for win number 3 on the season, as the score stands at 5-1 over St. Louis. And we'll have another penalty corner for the Billikens.
That's going to be their 10th of the second, or 10th of the game, I believe, correct?
Yeah. Definitely a case where, and I think we've seen this all season from St. Louis, their last 2 games going to overtime against Bellarmine and Ball State. They've had plenty of opportunities, but it's just their execution and their ability to capitalize that's been costing them these games and why they're 0-3.
Yeah, they're a couple possessions away from probably flipping a script and being 2-1. Like you said, 2 overtime losses. You know, it just depends on those little things, and that's something they're going to have to clean up on for the rest of the season.
Setup is misplaced once again. Ohio takes over. And that's one of the things we saw from Ohio last season, is that they were in a lot of games but just couldn't finish, couldn't capitalize on their opportunities. And we've seen a lot of improvement there, especially today from Ohio. And that shot is wide, and it will stay with St. Louis. So 30 seconds left, Ohio, or 20 seconds rather, St. Louis trying to salvage every last second they have, trying to get something going. The ball gets away from Lotz into possession, back to the Billikens. It's getting a little crazy out there, but Ohio has it, and that is going to do it from Pruitt Field in this one. The Ohio Bobcats take the home opener over the St. Louis Billikens, and the fans in Athens will stand up and cheer for an Ohio victory.
Yeah, they definitely have a lot to cheer about after today's performance. You know, what a way to start off home play here at Pruitt Field, and great win for the Bobcats today.
5-1 victory over the St. Louis Billikens. Natalie LaFleur, Noah Desmarais, Bodie Littlefield, Sasha DeCala, and Anouk Plain all gracing the score sheet for Ohio. And what a day from Macy Lotz. 8 saves on the day, her second highest of the season. Just all around a great effort for the Bobcats today, and a good win to send them into MAC play.
Yeah, absolutely, Carson. You know, this is a momentum builder. You know, this is a game you build off of going into MAC play and into next week, and you've already been battle tested. You've probably played the toughest part of your schedule so far, you know, with how strong of a non-conference schedule they've had so far. So they're ready for MAC play right now, absolutely.
Bobcats get a commanding win in their home opener, and that's going to do it for us from Pruitt Field today, alongside Josh Horner, Daniel Barnard, Sophie Haug, and our tremendous production crew. I am Carson Francis. We thank you for joining us today from Pruitt Field in Athens, Ohio. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon.